guys, it's Anna, and I want to tell you today how to find the length of a side of a triangle using the Pythagorean Theorem. The Pythagorean Theorem sounds difficult just because of the name, sounds kind of fancy, but it's actually very, very easy. The only skills you need to know in order to apply the Pythagorean Theorem to find a missing side of a triangle are how to add, how to multiply, how to subtract, and divide. If you can add, subtract, multiply, and divide, you can successfully apply the Pythagorean Theorem. You can find a missing side length of a triangle. So let's go. So here we have a triangle. We're trying to find this side. This is the side that's across from the right angle. So this is called the hypotenuse. Again, another big word, but not so scary. It's just the side across from the right angle. So the hypotenuse, the longest side of a right triangle. The Pythagorean Theorem works with right triangles. So if you're going to apply the Pythagorean Theorem, make sure you have a 90-degree angle, a right triangle that you're working with. So we are trying to find the hypotenuse, the longest side of a right triangle. And we have two other side lengths. We know one side length is 3, one side length is 4. Now, there are some things called special right triangles where you can actually memorize some triangle side lengths and ratios. And so you might already know the length of this hypotenuse if you've memorized some special right triangles, but we won't give it away. We'll actually apply the Pythagorean Theorem on this one because it works on all right triangles, not just special right triangles. So 3, 4, 5. We have 3 here, 4 here. This is probably going to be a certain length if you already know special right triangles, but let's run it through Pythagorean Theorem to try to figure it out. So we see that they have a squared plus b squared is c squared. So what on earth does that mean? So c is always going to be the hypotenuse. And then a and b are going to be the other side lengths. It doesn't matter which one's a and which one's b because they're just being added. So we're going to call this one a, we're going to call this one b. But remember, it doesn't matter. They could be in any order. So let's go ahead and plug this in. So we have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And I recommend always writing it out again, just to make sure that you get everything straight. So we're going to have 3 squared plus 4 squared is going to equal c squared, which is going to be our hypotenuse length, right? So let's find 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, and that all equals c squared. So 9 plus 16, 25, equals c squared. So now remember, this length is not 25 because 25 is c squared. So we're going to have to take the square root. Oh, that's another skill you will need. You will need to know how to take the square root. So we're going to have to take the square root of 25. It's going to be equal to the square root of c squared, right? And so when we square something, take the square root, it cancels. So the square root of 25 is going to be 5, and the square root of c squared is c. So c equals 5. So we know here that once we write out this formula, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, we plug in the numbers that we have. All we're going to do is square numbers, add them. We're going to take the square root. We can come up with c. So this is how you apply the Pythagorean Theorem to find the hypotenuse of a right triangle. You can also use it to find a or b, other missing sides. I'm going to make some more videos showing you how to apply the Pythagorean Theorem in a lot of other situations to find other sides of the right triangle, and also how to apply this in word problem situations where they're asking you how to find certain missing sides according to what's going on in a word problem. But this is a really useful tool to have in your toolbox to always be able to apply a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This is something you should memorize. I look forward to seeing you guys in another video very soon.